Hi, this is Adam at The Noise Chap, and this is a quick video on the types of noise meter you may come across. The main one is this. This is your handheld meter. They all look something like this. Sometimes have the big foam thing on the end. The foam thing is there if you're in an area with a bit of wind or a breeze to stop any noise blowing across the top of the microphone. This is your main tool. With this one, you know exactly what you're measuring. So if you see a big peak in noise, you know exactly what caused it, and you can look at possible controls. So for example, if the meter is reading high and you can hear a compressed air leak on a machine, or a particular motor is making a lot of noise, you can start to look at ways to control that. These meters, they record a few things at once. This one will do your dBA average, it will do your peak dBc, it will do your average dBc, which you use for assessing hearing protection, and it will do octave band, which means it breaks the noise down into different frequencies, so you can start to get an idea of what type of noise is making up the total volume. You must calibrate these before use. So if you have one of these, you also need one of these. So this is just a little calibrator. It goes on the end of the noise meter at the start of the day. You calibrate it so you know that the meter is accurate. It must be done on the day. You can't do that in advance because these things do wander slightly depending on atmospheric conditions. And you should also calibrate it at the end. Personally, if I'm doing a long job, I actually calibrate in the middle of the day as well, just to make sure everything is staying consistent. The other type of noise meter you will come across is a wearable, dosimeters or dosimeters. I use this type. The advantage of this is that it's put on somebody's shoulder, and then there are no buttons, no cables, nothing to interfere with, nothing to get touched, nothing for people to play with, and it just takes a reading of the noise every few seconds. These have a use if you're measuring the noise for somebody who is particularly mobile, so a forklift driver for example, then you can put one of these on them, let them go about their day, and it will take a noise level for them. The downside with these, as soon as somebody walks away wearing it, you've lost control of that noise assessment, so you don't actually know what is creating the noise. You're reliant on feedback from the employee who is wearing it. So if you see big peaks on this, you may not necessarily be able to identify what caused that. The other thing is they are subject to interference. It can be accidental. Put it on somebody's shoulder, they move their clothing, it starts to rub across the top of it, that will create a false reading. And I also guarantee that you put this on one person's shoulder, they walk away, their mates will bellow down the end of it. They do it every single time. Regular as day follows night, they will shout down the end of it. They think it's hilarious, and it always happens. So you have to be very careful with these. The other thing is, if you're in an area with a background noise of maybe 82, 83 decibels, so a production line with 5 or 6 people there, you put this on their shoulders, they will be chatting away while they're working. If it's there, it's going to pick up the volume from their mouth very loudly and over the top of all the other noise. And you can get a result from these in the high 80s, even low 90s, when the noise level is actually nothing like that. Especially when they're speaking, most of the noise is directed away from them. So you do have to be careful with these. They have a value, but your main tool really is the handheld meter. Right? So these also have to be calibrated, and you get a reader with them. So this is the reader that goes with these. These just kind of sit in the end there, and you calibrate this at the start of every day. And make sure that it is working accurately, and again, like the handheld meter, calibrate it at the end. One other thing to look out for with these, when you're buying your handheld meter, from experience, don't buy one that is rechargeable. Your meter will die. At some point, the batteries will die on it. If you have got one that just takes regular AA batteries, you can change the batteries, do a quick calibration, off you go again. If it is a rechargeable one, you're stuck. All right, so go for one that is batteries. And I would say for the people of Pulsar, if they're watching, whoever decided to put this little screw on the back rather than a little catch that there used to be on these things, there is a special place in hell reserved for you, because when you're in the middle of a factory, getting that sodding thing off is an absolute nightmare. Anyway, that's your main noise meter. Wearables have a use when people are particularly mobile.